What's up, everyone? Quentin Flores here, and I am the host and co-founder of Uncut with Q. And it's probably going to be the first time I'm going to mention this. This is the intro to the intro of this podcast. But this production that you're about to hear, this material in this podcast, is highly sensitive. So it includes talks of abuse, child abuse, self-harm, suicide, body hatred, and mental illness. I've never done an episode like this before, but for you guys that listen to this podcast, listen to it with caution, all right? And also listen to it with an open heart and hear the entire thing. So thank y'all so much for all of the love and support that we receive on this podcast. I'll see y'all in a second.
Just because I love you, it don't mean I trust you. Everybody not to be trusted. Everybody around me thugging. Everybody around me drugging. Everybody around me hustling. Everybody know not to bring no new rigging around me. They say I be bugging. Got racks in the go-yard luggage. Just because I love you, it don't mean I trust you. Everybody not to...
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Quentin Flores. It's another episode of Uncut with Q. All I ask, team, for everybody here that's been listening, that has been following me, it's been so awesome, the level of traction that we've been able to get on the show over the last couple of months. And we've got this thing back up and running again. We went on a hiatus from like August all the way until January, not posting really any episodes. And since we've gotten back on the scenes, I've noticed there's been about like legitimately between 10,000 downloads a month since we started going. And so I just want to say thank you guys so much for supporting the show. And for everybody that's listening to this, all I ask is that you share the show if you get value from it. And today's going to be a badass show because we're going to be talking about some really deep topics. All right. And so guys, again, if you get value from it, share it. That's all I ask. We don't pay for ads. We don't run anything crazy on this. I've been turning down ad people that want to like say, Q, I'll pay you for the freaking show. Like, no, man, I love doing this. It's like a passion project for me. And so, guys, y'all are amazing. Just share it. That's all I ask. And so with that being said, man, today's a long episode and I have somebody very special that I've known for years, really. I've been following her in the industry for quite some time. She's been doing this long before I was doing this. And, you know, it's just great to get someone who has a lot of expertise on the show, but also has a lot of life experience. And it's a lot more than just business. Because, dude, I'll be real with you guys. You know, I just got out of a very, very bad depression. And this was something that had hit me like for a loop to the point where I felt like I didn't want to live anymore. And I haven't felt like that since I was a kid. And I'm all right with saying that. And I think that it's okay to be vulnerable, especially on a platform, you know? So like I wear my heart on my sleeve. You guys know I document literally everything that I do, from being a dad to going to church for the first time to like, you know, getting my first real estate deal done. I think I've thrown it all out there, right? And so, you know, today, guys, what we want to do is wear our heart on our sleeves. And so I have someone really special with me today. And yeah, I've known her for a while. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Ellie Rojas, and I'm a real estate broker, wholesaler, and future producer.
I love it. I love it. You know, I've known of you for so long in the business. Like, I know a lot of people who speak very highly of you, that you've done a lot of major things in the city, especially for San Antonio in the real estate industry, period, you know? And I've just seen, I feel like the best of you, you know what I mean? In a lot of different ways, and seeing you thrive in these different areas. What do you think has been like the biggest pivot that you've had as far as like these last couple of years has gone? Because I know like 2023, a lot of businesses went under, right? And we're both in real estate.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what was that?
So, in actuality, in 2020, when COVID hit, I was actually doing really good in real estate. Real estate was doing really well because we still were able to show houses. But what brought me down was the mental health topic that you were talking
Absolutely.
about. I went through a like mental health issue that really took away my self-confidence and stuff. So a lot of you guys haven't seen a lot of me lately, or a lot of me going out lately. And when you do see me go out, you don't realize that it takes me maybe a day or a minimum 5 hours to get mentally ready to even start getting ready to go out, because of so much anxiety and a deep sadness that I held through my depression. So I haven't been out, and that did affect my business a little bit. But I'm rebuilding, and I realized that mindset is everything. You know,
It is.
People don't realize that that negative and sad feeling inside you is kind of like a drug. So your mindset, and you're feeling all this sadness, and you're focused on that sadness, your body wants more of it. It just thrives off that, because all you see is sadness. Why is this happening? Why? Instead, And it's truthful. What you're feeling is real, but you have to fake yourself out by saying no. And it's not really not faking yourself out, because it's truthful. You have to tell yourself the truth, because your body's feeling depressed, it's feeling down. This is happening to me now. That's why it's kind of hard to explain, because I'm just starting to realize what is happening to me, because I don't want to take medication or anything. I'm trying to fix my depression through my own mindset. And I have been reading a lot, and they're saying your body listens to whatever you say. And when I'm sitting down on my sofa for 5 days because of my depression, I'm telling myself I'm a loser, because this is not me. I don't stay at home and just sit there and watch TV for 5 days, just wasting my hours away when I know that I'm more valuable than that. Mm-hmm. So I'm calling my own self a loser. That's not helping me get better. Yep. So I had to learn, your body hears everything you're saying, even if it's not true. So I got to tell myself, no, you're not a loser. You're a winner. You've done this, you've done this, you've done that. You've done a lot. You were a real estate broker in 2 years of your life. You had your own real estate office before you were a broker. You've trained many people. Like in my office, I had 27 realtors. I can tell you about 10 people left my office and start their own company.
Wow.
I don't see that in any other company, that they just leave their company, that amount of people, and start their own business. It may not have been a real estate office, but one of the girls that works with me, she has her own home warranty company. So she's still working with realtors, but she's selling them home warranties for the houses. So she still has her own business. So something that I did in my real estate office made people feel like they could have their own business too. So I did all those things, and I have to constantly remind myself, you did all these things. I have to constantly force my brain to remember all the good things, because we typically forget. Time passes, life goes on, and we forgot, oh, I did all these wonderful things in the past. We forget all those things that we did because we're stuck in that moment of sadness. And I'm learning that sadness and that feeling is like an addiction, and I'm trying my best to get out of that addiction and find myself again.
You know, healing's a journey in anything that you do, and it's ongoing, because the body's constantly hurting itself, you know? And if there's one thing that I've learned from just going to the gym, and literally when I'm in the gym, it's as heavy as it's ever going to be. No matter what, when I go to the gym, the bar never lies to me, you know? And when you go to the gym and you sit underneath the bar and there's 225 pounds on it, every time you go to the gym, you can expect it to be that heavy. And the only person that changes is the man who stands underneath that bar that can lift it, and whether or not he's strong enough to lift it. And, you know, I think I credit a lot to what I've been able to do these last couple of years. You know, like a lot of you guys have seen my transformation. I've lost 160 pounds in that time frame. And it took me from when COVID happened. COVID, I went through a bad depression too. But mine was just more of a confidence depression. I went to the hospital. I found out I had sleep apnea, and I was facing diabetes and clogged arteries and borderline heart attack. And I was like 430 pounds on my max. And I weigh 235 now. So I've lost like a whole human, which is kind of crazy to me. And I still feel like there's confidence issues in that, because when I look at myself in the mirror, I still don't feel like it's enough. And that's a lingering thought today. But I always remember how much I did and what I had to do to get to this point. Now it being 4 years later, because I started this journey like June of 2020. I stopped drinking alcohol, period. I've been sober ever since. And then I decided around October 2020 that I'd get a freaking gym membership. And so I'm running on like 4 years of going to the gym and killing myself to find myself. And a lot of it has been not easy at all, because while I'm going to the gym thinking that I'm becoming better and losing all of this weight and gaining more confidence, I'm still losing things in my life, things that I've thought would be there all the time, you know? And now I'm like in this real rebuild mode consistently. So I feel what you're saying in such a tremendous level right now, because it is hard. And it's a battle every day.
Social media, you know, like I've seen some of the comments on your social media where people criticize you from being chubby and then losing weight. And me personally, like we may not be celebrities, but we have big followings. So we still get to feel at a level of what some of these celebrities suffer when you're dealing with social media. So we both understand that if we're going to have a big following, we have to deal with the negativity too, right? But it does take a toll on your mindset. And often my kids tell me I have body dysmorphia because sometimes I don't feel like I'm pretty. I don't feel like I'm good enough. Or I feel guilty for being pretty, you know, and I shouldn't feel guilty for being pretty. You know, I can't control what God gave me. I should be able to be with a bunch of people that I want to hang out with and shine bright, and they be happy to be around me instead of feel like I'm a threat to them.
Amen.
You know, and so I that's why I had to like narrow my circle down, and I feel like the people that I hang around now with, we see each other's beauty and as it is. We're all in a different level of beauty. We all have different, like I have girlfriends that have like the most amazing legs. My legs are chubby, you know? Everybody has something
that they don't like about
that
themselves.
they don't like about themselves. But if you hang around with a group of girls that just like you just for who you are inside, which are the people that I'm with now, which is a smaller group of people, it helps a lot with your mental health. But if you're out there just hanging out with a bunch of people because you want to be part of this group of people, you're becoming vulnerable to that environment of judgment, right? We already deal with it on social media. You can't control who's saying what about you. And people think they know you on social media. Like I've had people meet me in person and say, oh, well, I thought that you were going to be like really conceited and you wouldn't even talk to me, because I talk to everybody. I'm friends with everybody. I came from the hood, you know, I'm from Detroit. I came from a very diverse background. My street in Detroit was Greek, Indian, white, black. I mean, that was my community of people. Like I get along with everybody, and I'm a very sensitive, nice person, and I get hurt because of that. And I'm very real. I'm very direct, and so a lot of people can't handle it. And I can call out somebody that I know is fake. I can't handle fake people, and I can't pretend to like someone that I know that doesn't like me. And people can't handle that.
I think that that's real too, you know. Being in the positions that you and I are in, it's like eyes are watching us all the time. Yeah. And then when we fall off of the grid, people are wondering if something's wrong with us, right? Yeah. And then a lot of times it's like internal and external demons being fought on both sides of the spectrum, whether it be mental, people's opinions, something physical, confidence. It's like, you know, I think that those are all why we're able to do what we do in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that you shine bright in a lot of different areas, and you've been able to do very well for yourself throughout the years.
I've hit it, like I used to lower my shine because I didn't want other people to feel like I outshine them. But you shouldn't have to lower your shine. You shouldn't. You should be able to brighten up everybody around you, and they feel brighter around you. There shouldn't be any competition because we're all different, you know. But you just have to find people that are going to help you level up, and you are able to help them level up. Yeah. But I find myself around people who have no ambition. I shouldn't be there. Yeah. That's not my people. They don't like me because they don't relate to me. And that it doesn't have anything to do with social backgrounds or anything, because I can meet someone who's you know, came from a very poor family, who has more ambition than someone I met that came from a wealthy family, that wants to really do something. And I want to help that person. I don't care where you come from. I want to help. I want to inspire that person that wants to help me level them up, because I can't level up somebody who's not ready, or doesn't believes they're too good to be leveled up, you know, to be helped up, because
like their head's too big.
Yes. I can't help that person. Or if you're going to live your life based on just how you look, that's not enough, you know.
So much more than that.
There's so much more than that. So I'm trying to find people that I bring value to, and people that bring value to me, because now I'm going to be 51. I mean, I can't be playing games with people anymore.
Yo, if you're listening to this, give this lady a round of applause, because this woman does not look like she's 51. Like 35, 36 tops, you know? It's crazy to me.
But, you know, even though I'm still suffering, you know, from the depression, but I'm also at a point in my life where I don't really care what people think.
Yep.
I feel so much more liberated at this age. I've raised my kids. So if I want to wear a sexy shirt, then I'm going to wear a sexy shirt because my kids are grown. I can do whatever I want to do. If I want to dress younger than 51, then I'm going to dress younger than 51 because I look younger because I dress younger, I act younger, you know. Why does it have to be an age limit? I get online and it just makes me so angry when I go on there and say, why do girls have to do the peace sign still? You know, that gets old. Or why is she wearing that outfit? She should be wearing, who cares? Like,
let her live a life.
Why do you guys care what other people do online? Like, let them be happy. You should be saying, oh, look at her. She's dressing like she's 20. She feels like she's 20. Let her do whatever she wants to do. How is that affecting your life? I mean, instead of saying something like that, you just level her up. Say something, you know, nice. But it's so easy to get on social media and
have an opinion.
And I really hate that. You know, I know that I'm really political online. That's totally different. But I don't go on other. I got people come on my social media and my inbox and talk about politics with me that don't agree with my politics. But you're never going to see me, rarely ever go on another friend's post that's a different view than mine and post my view on them because I want my views to be respected. So I have to respect their views. So I typically just don't go on their page and comment. If I don't like it, I just read it and I just go past it because
kill it with kindness
I'm just, but not just that. I want a life that's drama free.
Yeah.
And you're just creating more drama if you're looking to go fight with somebody on their post about something that you're not going to change their mind.
I posted this thing online and I want to talk about this because I definitely want to go over this because I think that there's a maturity level that was associated with what I'm going to say that I never thought that I'd ever reach before. And so my son spent all last weekend with me going to church. We have, I mean, I'm very big on my faith. You know, I've always felt that God was one of the missing pieces in my life. And I've never been more open to him than I am now. Like I have a whole demon tattooed on my back. Like that's how much against it I had been my whole life. And so like coming back into this, growing up the way I grew up and the violence and the abuse that I faced when I was a child, I just would always ask myself, why was there a God that would allow the things that happened to me to happen to me? You know, that was the most negative way that you can look at life because it was a very victim-based mentality. And so like I woke up from it, you know, and since then, that was like 5 years ago, I've been going to church pretty consistently and I've been practicing God and studying the word. I took my son with me, you know, and so like me and my son, we went all 3 days, went to Good Friday, we went to the Saturday service, and then we went to Sunday for the resurrection day. And that's how I wanted to spend my Sunday with my son. And so I posted a photo of me and my kid outside of the church that we go to and just said, Happy Easter from all of us to you guys, right? And some dude had commented on my post and he had said, LOL, teaching your kid to believe in something that doesn't exist. Great parent. And I was like, I wanted to find him, you know what I'm saying? And dismantle this person. And, you know, it's crazy because all I said was, you know, it's unfortunate that you feel that way, that you would need to say something like that to a complete stranger online. But I just want you to know that I'll pray for you and that whatever you're going through, God's greater than that. And then there was a whole wave of negative comments and then my friends coming in backing me up on what he had said about me and my kid and my fatherhood, right?
It's good to have friends that, because I know that when I used to have, I don't have that many negative posts anymore. I think they kind of know better because my friends will come out and back me up.
Yeah, it's good to have friends like that. So that same guy, I don't block nobody, bro. Like if you don't like me, I don't care. You can keep watching.
Well, I mean, I don't block anyone either, but I will block men that are disrespectful.
For sure. I
mean,
get that too.
Inbox me if you want sometime. I don't like it, but if you're going to put something about my assets where everybody can see, I'm going to block you.
Yep.
You know.
This was one of the things that was so surprising to me because I gave him a graceful comment versus wishing something bad upon him or insulting him or saying something negative. And he messaged me, he said, looking good, bro. Your progress is amazing. I apologize for that hateful comment about God and your son the other day. I've done a bit of reflection and I kind of do believe that there is a higher power because I'm coming out of a 4-year-long battle with drugs and alcohol. And I felt that I did it myself. But then again, this time it just feels like there's a higher power involved. And I just want to say that you're a great dad and I'm sorry for my comment.
Yeah.
What was that? right? So like that was such a random message to receive from the very guy that I wanted to rip in half for saying the things that he said about me and my son on my Facebook post, you know? And so it was just like, I think that there's also like a level of maturity that's there for me that I've never experienced before. Yeah. Because normally I'd pull up to your crib if you said some fucked off shit about me. But that's not how I want to live my life, and that's not what I want to be. Like
it's kind of rough beginnings as well, because I mean, I people look at me and they don't realize I'm so calm now. But when I was in Detroit, I mean, I was in fights all the time. I mean, and my parents brought me here when I was 12. I didn't stop fighting until 11th grade. I mean, I was suspended every single day. I was in fights all the time, and because people seriously, I didn't choose the fights. But if you're gonna fight me, I'm gonna beat you up, and I always won. So, and they're always bigger than me because I have 4 brothers, you know. So I mean, my brothers never got into fights. The only time my brothers ever got into fights is because they were fighting a boyfriend of a girl I beat up. So I was the one who got my brothers in trouble. But it was because my dad was so tough on me. My dad didn't want to grow. I'm the only girl of 5, and this is a very raw thing, but people need to talk about it. My dad is a Latino. He's from Mexico. He came from a ranch with limited education. So in his mind, women were only meant to have babies and clean the house. They didn't have any value. He didn't know any better. So I was this really pretty little girl, and he saw me as a sexual being. So the only way that my dad could prevent his mind from thinking probably the way he thought was to beat me and hit me and spank me all the time. And I was always in trouble. I was always, my dad was just so mean to me. And as an adult, we were close. I had to understand where my dad came from. He didn't know any better. Education is so important because the more educated you are, the more open your mind is. And my dad had a limited amount of education, so he saw me as a sexual being. So to prevent himself from doing that, he was mean to me. He beat me up all the time, locked me in a closet, handcuffed me to beds, beat me up all the time. So have you ever watched that Tyler Perry movie, his documentary?
Yes.
Okay. When he talked about his dreams, I related to him so much because when I was a little girl, I was always crying. You look at my pictures, you can see that I was a very unhappy, pretty little girl. I was always sad. But my dreams, so if you guys know me on social media, you know you're rarely going to see me in the same dress. I love dresses. So I would dream every night, I'm going to grow up one day, have my own business, and I'm going to buy a bunch of dresses. And so what kept me surviving through all that abuse was my dreams. And Tyler Perry was that way. He had dreams that got him through that abuse. My dreams got me through my abuse. And then when I became an adult, I proved to my dad that women were valuable and worth more than just being someone's, sex partner and having children. I opened my own company. My dad came to the grand opening. He was so proud of me. And then he remarried and had 2 other daughters. And with those 2 other daughters, he never hit them. They never experienced the abuse that I experienced. And if you see them, because I see them all the time on social media and I love them, but we're not close because they're 20,
that's crazy,
22 and 17. My dad's passed away, and we'll talk about that in a minute. My dad passed away from depression, but they're so happy, and one of them has 2 children. She's in a very happy relationship. The youngest one, she's going to be going to Trinity University. The opportunities opened up to them in a whole different way than it opened up to me. I had to literally leave my house when I was 18 because my mom was scared of the abuse from my father because he wanted to make sure, that I wasn't having sex. And a situation happened that my mom had to send me away. And so I ended up becoming homeless. I lived on Austin Highway. And I was cleaning all those rooms for free, so they let me stay in a room because I still wanted to go to school. So I was going to Alamo Heights. I was living off ramen on every day. I was 114 pounds.
Wow.
But I don't know how I survived. I didn't get into sex trafficking. I didn't get into prostitution. I didn't get into drugs. I don't know how I survived, but I got out of that situation. My aunt took me in Detroit. But what I'm trying to say is that I've been through the things been abuse. I've been, my dad, when he beat me, it wouldn't be like a small beating. I mean, literally he had like once he had a steel thing, and I have bruises all over my legs. How did I end up coming out of that and still being the positive person I am every day, and compassionate person I am every day? Did people who treat me badly or bullied me not know all the shit I've been through, because they look at you on social media and assume your life was always perfect.
Yep. And
you have everything. And they don't realize what you had to go through to get where you're at, and how hard it was to get where you got to.
I went through literally almost like the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like legitimately.
And I'm a very loving person, and I've helped so many people, and I've been bullied online, where people go on there and talk bad things about me. They're completely untrue. You know that I'm not a Trump supporter. You know that.
Yeah.
But the one credit I give him is that he helped with the thing about fake news and stuff. It really helped a lot of us who've been bullied online, for more people to like, let me do a little bit more research. I bet you that's not true. That's somebody who just, really hates her. It made it easier for people who bully you to look bad. Mm-hmm. So back in 10 years ago, a lot of people were being posted on this one site, bad things said about them. People are numb to that now. They really don't pay attention to all that negativity. They really more pay attention to, is this true? Did you really do that? People are looking to things more than just listening to bullies or negative things about people. That's the one good thing that came out to me about Trump, because so much negativity is everywhere. Now literally. People are actually taking the time to say, they're only talking bad about her because something probably happened, or she probably rejected him, or she probably didn't stop being friends with him. They're actually taking the time to actually figure out who we really are. And I like that. I think I can handle social media more today than I could have handled it 10 years ago.
I wanted to ask you this question. I think that it's valuable. How do you handle when people say something negative about you? Like, how do you handle that?
In the past,
yeah,
I hated it. It hurt me so much, because it's like, for one of the things is that I was so innocent when I got into the world, because of the protection my dad had on me, and then getting married so young. I wasn't ready for the real world. I didn't know anything about the real world, so I was married for 10 years. So when I finally got into the real world when I was 30, when people started talking bad about me, I'm sorry, my mind's all over the place.
No, you're fine.
It hurt me because it was not true. And because of my innocence, when I left my ex-husband, I dated a guy, I paid all his stuff, I made his business. Then I dated another guy, I paid all his stuff, and then I paid his business. So I was watching Oprah Winfrey one day. This is how some of the rumors came out. And I think it was 2020. And there was like, hey, join sugardaddy.com if you want to meet a guy who's successful and all that. In my mind, I'm literally thinking, oh, I'm going to meet someone just like me, successful and stuff, so I'm not paying for another guy's business. So I'm telling the whole world, all these girls, you need to join sugardaddy.com. Not knowing that women use that for escorting and all that. I didn't know. I mean, I'm like innocent. Like, I did not know this. So then this girls, or the people I shared this with, started spreading rumors that I date guys for money and I was dating sugar daddies and all that stuff. When I always was the one who paid the stuff for guys. Guys never paid anything for me.
God, that's crazy.
Now, I won't say that's true anymore, because I'm grown up now. And I know that I am valuable enough to date a guy who's going to take me to dinner and do nice things for me. And that's perfectly okay, because there's nothing wrong with that. But I felt so guilty when they were writing that stuff, because it wasn't true. I worked so hard for my business and build myself up. For somebody to say that somebody was giving me things, that just, it hit me. But now it doesn't bother me. They can talk all they want, because I know, my family knows, my kids are grown. I paid for my daughter's college in A&M. She graduated with a master's degree. She graduated with less than $10,000 debt, because I paid her whole college by myself. Every time I closed a deal, I paid her college. So did I splurge on my first expensive purse after I paid up her college? Yes, I did. But I bought it by myself.
Yeah, and you deserve that. You got to give yourself some grace, too, in what you've been able to accomplish and what you've gone through. But it's a testimony, really.
So The only thing I do, I'm careful as now, is if I'm dating someone, I don't post online who I'm dating. If I'm going to date, I don't post people. But there's this one girl I read her thing. She goes, I don't understand why people go on dates and they don't post the people they're with. Well,
those are
you know
just people
why?
that are insecure.
Because you are probably that person that's probably going to go in his inbox and say something about me to him. And so until that person that I'm dating knows completely everything about me, including the rumors that are not true, and they fall in love with everything that I am, you're not going to know who I'm dating. Mm-hmm. It's somebody's business.
I love that too, you know, and I think that a lot of people, like, they look for validation from strangers over validation from people that they actually care about them, you know?
Yeah.
And I've learned that over the years, just from being in social media and posting the shit that I post. And a lot of times, you know, people would mistake a post that I had thrown out where I'm trying to inspire someone, and they'll think that I am egotistical or flexing. I can't stand that.
I don't, yeah.
I'm
me too, because
like,
I post stuff and I'll get people like, oh, there she is again, posting all these positive things. But I mean, if you don't like it, don't follow it. But it helped one person.
Yep.
That's all that matters. It helped one person. But it's helping me too. So don't think that a lot of things I post, it's helping me too. Like positive things I post, I'm reading that positive post too, and it helped me. So I just want to share it with everybody else.
I wanted to ask you this. How are you maintaining business now, going through all of that? Like, because clearly bills don't stop when we're sad and we're depressed. That's the most trying thing for anybody listening to this that's like going through a rut. And I've noticed that there'd be times when I was going through mine where I just didn't care about the bill. Yeah. And I just pay it late, and I'd be 3 months behind on a car note, and I'm like, what am I doing, you know?
I'm OCD when it comes to my bills.
Yeah. So
even if I'm going through the most depression moment, I will pay my bills on time. But yeah, when I was going through my depression, it did hurt my business, because when you're doing real estate, you have to be consistent with your business. It's constantly following up. Yeah. And I would get calls from people, and because I was having a depressing moment, I would not call them back for days. That's not like me. I'm that person, like, call me, I'm on it. You know, when you come to a wholesale deal, you cannot sit on that house. You need to be in that house next day. And I was making things wait for days, you know, because I was just not there. So how I survived to that, this is the only blessing. During COVID, I got into the stock market. So I started investing money into the stock market. So when I was going through my low moments and I wasn't closing enough houses, I was taking money out of my stock market investments to pay my bills, which was, it still hurts you, because that's my retirement that I'm taking from to pay my bills, when I know I could have paid them if I would have just, because the thing about wholesaling and investment real estate is you can do good in any market. Yep. I don't care if the market's crashing, whatever. There's a different type of investors. There's an investor for a hot market, and there's an investor for a crashing market. There's different kinds of investors. So if you know how to, when the market crashed in 2008, I had to learn a different business, which is real estate investments, and I really learned it so I could survive. So there was no reason why I shouldn't have had money in the last few years. There's no reason why. It was because of my own self and my depression and the things I went through. We don't even have enough time to talk about what I went through.
First and foremost, I wanted to tell you how much I appreciate how open you are about things. It shows how strong you are.
The thing is, when you know me, I can't lie. Like, everything about me is real, and everything is raw. It's real. And when you're raw and real, you're more vulnerable to the world. They can hurt you more because you're not lying about your life. You're being truthful about everything that's happened to you. Yep. The only thing I haven't been sharing as much on social media, and I haven't been going out as much, but it's still very real and very raw. And there's been moments I talked about my depression, and we talked about this earlier. People will say, well, you have a house, you have a car, you have great kids, you make money, you shouldn't have depression. They don't realize it's a chemical imbalance. You have no control over it. I could have $1 billion. It's not going to stop the sad feeling in my heart and my soul that I feel because the world has taken a toll on me. And so during COVID, it's a vulnerable moment for a lot of people. And I had to find this talking to counselor. My counselor said, during COVID, it was the first time for a lot of people, not just me, that they got to face their feelings. Because me and you, we're survivor mode our whole life. 5 years old, my dad had me working, cleaning dishes, ironing clothes for my brothers, work, right? So you're surviving. COVID, we all slow down. That's the first time that everybody had a chance to face their feelings and their pains that they've been suffering for years.
Yeah.
I was in a vulnerable moment, and I let a man in my life that didn't belong in my life, who was doing meth. I don't know anything about meth. I was fixing someone that didn't deserve to be fixed. And I shouldn't be fixing men anyway. I was fixing his credit. I helped him get a car because I fixed his credit. Not with I didn't co-sign. I knew better. I bought him clothes. I even got the little warts off his body because it was like, I just fixed this whole man up. And I found out that he was doing meth and he was stealing things out of my house. I kept on seeing him at a pawn shop. And because I bought him a freaking iPhone, whatever that year was, And so, because I was paying for the phone, I knew his location. And I would see him at the pawn shop and why are you at the pawn shop? This is how crazy this is. And this is why I want to write this book. I have pictures and everything. This is so detailed, and I want to make sure I do it right. I would ask him where he's at the pawn shop. He's like, I'm looking at rings for you. I don't want a ring from a pawn shop. But he was pawning my tools. He was pawning my tools from my garage. A lot of my stuff was missing. I found key words that meant meth. Like, I didn't know this. I would think he was going to work. He would tell people, I need work. Work means meth. I had no idea that the word work meant meth.
Wow.
So all these times I thought he was out there looking for work. He was looking for meth.
It's insane.
Yeah. And I finally, it took over a year to get this guy out of my house. I could not get him out of my house. So what I did, I fixed everything for him. I got him a truck. I got him approved for an apartment. Again, no co-signing for him. I fixed his credit. I got him into the apartment. I fixed the apartment. It was so nice. I bought us furniture, everything. And I said, here, go on your own. He never paid one payment to his apartment, to the car. He lost everything within 6 weeks.
Wow.
Everything I worked a year on. After talking to his son, I found out nobody's ever taught this man how to be a man. No one's ever taught him how to pay his bills. He didn't know how to do anything. He didn't know how to do anything, and he was on meth.
God.
So he ended up homeless, but he still dragged me in because he was crying all the time, and I'm a very sensitive person. I was homeless once,
Yeah.
There was nobody there to help me. So I would see him outside with 114-degree weather, and I was paying his hotels. I was just, and we're not sleeping together. There's nothing going on. My heart hurt for him so bad because I didn't understand, this drug addiction. And I took him to rehab. San Antonio has a detox center by Haven for Hope. It's 4 weeks. But as soon as you get out of there, guess where you're at?
Straight back in the same place you started. Yep.
It's a waste of government money to put these homeless people in rehab for 4 weeks, clean them, and put them back on the street.
They're just gonna fall right back into it.
There's no place for them to go after that. There's no halfway home, no temporary, there's nothing available for them. It's ridiculous. So he's back on the street, he's back on drugs. And so here I am, again, paying for his hotels and everything. What was a breaking point that I really had to see it is I was buying his groceries. Literally buying him new deodorant and dentistry every 2 days because he will lose all his stuff, get stolen. His clothes get stolen, everything from people. He's at the hotel swimming and partying and people eating all the food and everything that I got him, partying with other meth addicts.
That's crazy.
I had it see, it was on a picture and a video he did, and he was swimming, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I've spent over $50,000 on this
Just
man.
like
He's
getting
not
him-
my child. He's not my boyfriend. I just felt bad for him. He knew how to manipulate the system. I was his system. I was his system. I couldn't help him. But what he did is he broke me. He took away my confidence in myself. I wasn't working on my real estate. I wasn't working on myself. We talked about me sitting at home. I mean, literally, it could pass maybe 2 to 3 months where I'm just, have you been through that where you're just home all day, every day, just
Yes.
but binging shows and all that stuff?
I just went through that. Yeah.
Just going, that is not me.
Same.
And me coming to this podcast, I canceled twice with him.
Yeah, that's true.
I couldn't get myself here to this podcast. But I've been working on myself extremely the last 2 months to just get myself back to where I am. I'm not there yet, but I'm going to get back there. And I'm going to be better than I was before I left this. I was literally saving money, got into the stock market, saving money, losing weight. COVID wasn't bad for me. It was good for me when it first started until that guy came in my life.
Yeah. Threw you for a loop.
He threw me for a loop.
It's insane to think about it.
I felt like a complete fool.
You know, I would have never known that you were going through any of this stuff until you told me right now. And that's how I like that.
I don't share a lot of my pain with people because I wanted to get to the other side.
Yeah. I've always seen you just from social as a strong woman. That's how I've always seen you. And so like just hearing you be vulnerable like this just adds more fire to that strength that you have because it's still there, you know? And as someone who's just crawled out of a very dark place, I could tell you, you know, it gets better in time for sure. And if there's one thing that I've learned in this whole thing is that time is the only factor. And no matter what we do or how long things take, it's always just time. And we want it to happen so quick. We want to feel better so fast. We want it to happen now. And it's just like, it doesn't happen like that. And so you have to feel it. That's the first part for everybody that's listening to this. If you're trying to beat your depression, it's feel and then you deal and then you heal. And so you feel it, you let it flow through you as long as it takes, as hard as it takes.
I'm still feeling it now.
Yeah.
Like me just sitting here with him. I mean, I have a hole in my heart. I have tears inside me that I feel because I haven't shared a lot of this. I share this with limited people because it's embarrassing. I mean, it's embarrassing. I have my own house. I have my own car.
It's not embarrassing.
I put my daughter through college. You know, I did all these great things, and I wasted all this money on somebody that didn't deserve it.
It's not embarrassing, by the way.
Yeah.
I would not undermine what you do and who you are, because who you are is very powerful. And I don't want you to think that what you did is far-fetched or something that's crazy. I literally like have done so much for someone who treats me like fucking absolute shit, and it's okay. It's something that I allow myself to do, and that doesn't make me or you any less human, because whether you have a lot of money or you have a lot of possessions, those things don't make you rich. What makes you rich is this life and how you choose to live it. And what you have going on for yourself right now is a blessing. Even this, what you're feeling right now, is a blessing. You know, when Jesus was faced with this crazy ass task where he had to feed 5,000 people, some kid ran up to him and was like, "I got 5 pieces of bread and 2 fish. Is this enough to feed everybody?" And he gave it to God with all he had. He said, "I don't know if this is enough, but this is what I have to give you." And for us, you know, we have what we have, but it's what's inside. And what that boy had was faith. And so he gave it to Jesus. You know what Jesus did? He grabbed a piece of bread and he broke it. He broke it in half. And then it duplicated. And next thing you know, everybody was fulfilled. Everybody was eating. Everybody was having a feast. And so the lesson in that is like, number one, you can't have the blessing before the breaking. God will break you and before he blesses you. And it's going to happen multiple times. But when it happens and the breaking comes, know that you are about to be duplicated in so many different ways. The second thing is you have to have that childlike faith. That little kid didn't think of anything else that he had more than just, I have faith that 5 pieces of bread and 2 fish can feed 5,000 people. And sometimes that's all we got. But when you bundle it up and you give it to something powerful, something stronger than you, better than you, it's the ultimate form of liberation internally for whatever it is that you're going through. Because truthfully, you know, like it takes time, but it is not embarrassing. I've done worse for worse people in positions when I shouldn't have done that. And so I think that what you did for this person, there's a valuable lesson there, and that because of who you are as a woman right now, like, and who you are becoming, because you're always a woman becoming, is going to be 10 times the person that you see in front of you today, and you will be duplicated.
I mean, and I think a lot of the abuse that I suffered as a kid actually prepared me for a lot of the pain I suffer as an adult to survive, because I think a lot of the things I've been through as an adult, an average person couldn't survive it.
Yep.
And people don't know everything. Again, I haven't shared everything, but it was so much. Like, just, I mean, this guy would send me 1,000 pictures of me a day.
Wow.
Where he would break up a video and circle things that he sees a man next to me, because that's meth.
Yeah.
And you're just freaking out seeing all these things, and then he would be crying, sending me this emotional, just crying videos. All that stuff breaks down your mindset. It's kind of like when people are conditioning people to be a certain way.
Yeah.
This guy was conditioning me to doubt myself, knowing that I didn't do anything wrong, but I was seeing it every single day. And it's not like I didn't block him. When you're on drugs, you don't even have a phone anyway. So when you do get a phone, you're using that text now thing. So you get this free phone number. So the guy had thousands of different phone numbers that if I blocked it, I got another phone number with more messages. So it took me 2 years to get out of that. It's only been 1 year that I'm healing.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm running on 9 months being separated from a 10-year relationship that I fucked up.
And I wasn't even in a relationship, really.
Shit, yeah, it's crazy. But, it doesn't mean that your heart wasn't any bigger than it is now, because that just shows.
I hurt for that person, and it's like, I hurt when I see people in pain, and I want to help them, but you can't. I had to learn, Ellie.
You can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves.
You can't help somebody who doesn't want to help. You just can't help everyone.
Yep.
You just can't. It's impossible.
I have a friend of mine who makes my food. She's a sweetheart, and her name's Ashley. She told me how I told her this thing that I went through when I was a kid. Very dark things, very much like what you went through too. And she's just like, it's just crazy to me how two people can go through the same thing, but both of them have different outlooks on how it happened, and I realized that there's like, so like her situation, her mother was killed in a drive-by accident, and her brother and her mom were in the same room when it happened, and they got the wrong house. A bullet went like straight through her arm and shot straight into her mother's heart, and her mother held them while she was getting shot. And so like her and her brother, which are like a year apart, experienced this. Her brother goes through massive depression and victimization episodes of just not being good enough, while she, on the other hand, is building a multi-million-dollar food business. It's like crazy, because they both went through the same thing, but they have different traumatic experiences and how it happened. I'm the only one out of my family of 6 to be in this position where I can make moves, and if I need to come up with 20 grand, 100 grand before the day's over and somebody was threatening my life, I'll fucking find that money. So like there's a different animal inside of me than my brothers and sisters. I'm not undermining them, because my brothers and sisters were perfect, and I'm so thankful that God gave me the best siblings in the world, because I wouldn't be the man I am proud to be today if God didn't bring them into my life. So they raised me, and I'm not undermining them. I'm only saying that I'm the only one that had decided to do something different, not just get a job, not just go to school.
We're so similar, because I am the only girl of 5, but I do have one brother that I can't get along with that much, and he was, out of all my brothers, he was the one that my dad abused the most. I was the most abused, but he was the second most abused. And he's an extreme alcoholic. He's so negative about everything. Yeah. And I love him a lot, but I can't be around him, because I can't handle his negativity. It brings me down so much. But we were all raised by the same dad. The other 3 brothers are pretty normal, great, hard. All of us, even the one who drinks a lot, hard workers. My dad raised us all to be extremely hard workers. So my brothers are all hard workers. I'm a hard worker. We know to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and just start our day. Now, lately, I haven't been doing that because of my depression, because I always knew I lose a day if I don't start by 5 o'clock in the morning. Lately, it's been 10, because it's been that hard for me to get going. But it's better than 3 o'clock, so I'm getting better. I'm getting better little by little. But yeah, one brother, he's similar abuse, but he just he's just so angry with everything all the time.
Stems from something. I feel like you and I have gotten a chance to forgive our dads.
I forgive my dad. I love my dad though. In all reality, the only person my dad was really mean to was me.
Yeah.
And because I was a female, and not because he didn't love me. It's because he didn't want to hurt me. People need to understand that. My dad loved me, but he didn't want to hurt me. My dad gave to the poor. We go to Mexico, always giving money to the poor. Always, homeless people lived at our house. My dad would find the homeless man or girl or whatever and bring them and feed them. Or give them a job and all that. So I was around homeless people. We actually brought a guy his name was Rusty. My brother's name. His name was Rusty.
What a
He was
cool
a homeless guy. We took him to Mexico with him. My dad tried to shoot him like a child. He got in trouble because he had weed in the car when we were going to Mexico. I could see my dad yelling at him like his kid. But he ended up moving with us into San Antonio and ended up being homeless in San Antonio, but getting married to someone. He was just happy homeless. But he stayed good friends with my dad till he died.
Wow.
That was but as an adult, you guys need to know I was very close to my dad. My dad loved me very much. He was very proud of me and who I became, and he changed. This is how I know that men and women can change, because my dad changed. He may have been very hard on me, but he was not hard on my sisters. My sisters did not experience not even 1% of the mental and physical abuse that I got from my dad as a kid.
Yeah.
So I love my dad because in all reality, he was a good man. He just didn't know how to handle a girl.
I love that. And people can change. You're right. Yeah. And I love that you're highlighting that, because that I feel like I am trying to change. Not trying, I am. And I will be better than I've ever been. Like, I know growth is a marathon. It's not like this end all be all place. Like when you're consistently growing, you're becoming better always. And the moment that you stop growing is, I believe, the moment that you start dying, you know, and I don't ever want to be that. And having I don't
want to go through this again though.
For sure.
I just feel like once I get past this, I am going to have a very protective guard around me.
You're also going to be more aware.
Yes.
And I think that's a beautiful thing.
I mean, I'm still going to be willing to help people because that's who I am, but it's going to be from a distance. They're not going to be able to, unfortunately, be in my personal space. You know, I can help someone from afar, but I cannot get emotionally attached to them.
Also helping people selectively,
yes,
like
I'm gonna
being more guarded about who I decide to pour into has been a big one for me, because I also come from that too, where you just want everybody to be great. Man, I tell you, like during COVID and during even this crazy shit that happened last year with the whole 2023 and the 2022 interest rates rising, I still had my team on salary. I was still cutting their checks so that they could have a place to work while I was fucking barely making enough money to feed my family. Like, legitimately, that's how I've always lived. But even at then, man, like, you got to be careful, dude, because wolves don't care what the food is or how much there is. They're going to go after it if they see it.
Believe me, I've been through that. When the market crashed in 2028, it was hard to continue helping the people in my office and paying the people in my office.
Was that in 07 or was it in 08?
It started in...
It started 07, but we didn't feel it till 08, right?
Yeah, gotcha. You really felt it in 08. The people that you helped and you can't do as much as you used to do, they just want you to continue to feed them, but you can't feed yourself.
Yeah.
And they forget all the stuff you've done before you were suffering yourself. But you can't help someone unless you're secure and stable yourself. They don't see that because they're hungry. They want to be fed. I get that, but I learned during in 2008 that, well, I'm still helping people even after, but there's a different help. You're talking about business. And business-wise, I learned if I can't feed myself, then I'm not going to take on a partner because I'm not going to be able to feed them.
Yeah.
So
it's powerful, Ellie. Honestly, I appreciate you being so vulnerable and sharing all of these things about your story. What is a piece of advice that you would give to somebody who's trying to crawl out of a dark place right now?
I recommend motivational videos. They're impactful every morning. I have Alexa set every morning to give me like an inspirational talk. So you have, it's a
What?
mindfulness. So you can set
You
up
can
your,
do that?
yeah, you can set up your Alexa, and your Alexa will give you some kind of like mindfulness and inspirational thing. So I do that. You really have to talk good about yourself, because yourself is listening. They've done studies where the mind doesn't know the difference between fake and real. So your mind doesn't know. You can tell your mind, I'm a millionaire, and have that excitement. And even if you're not a millionaire, if you really believe it, you're a millionaire, your mind's going to believe you're a millionaire. So if you really believe that you can't do something, you can't do it. I really want to share something very important. You're going to appreciate this.
Go ahead.
When I was in real estate, when the market crashed, I was averaging about $85,000 a year. But I never can get to that over a 6-figure mark, right? I don't even know how I made the $85,000 a year, because when you're born in poverty, people are not teaching you how to get wealth or how to make money. So you look at a lot of people and you're like, why are everybody in that family, they all make the same amount of money? None of them have gotten out of making that amount of money, because their mindset is set that they can't make more than $40,000 a year. I mean, this is really a mindset thing, because I have been making over 6 figures for the last 15 years without any problems. Even when it's a hard market, I'm still making 6 figures, and I don't know how I do it, but I make the 6 figures, because in my mind, I can't make less than 6 figures. So it's really important that you believe that you can make more than what they tell you can make, because it's all a mindset. I mean, because there's people that come from nothing and they only have $5,000. Is it that Dell computer guy? He left with $5,000 and now he has a multi-million-dollar company. It's all a mindset. I mean, it's not impossible to be a millionaire. It's not impossible, but you have to really believe that you can be a millionaire, or you can make 6 figures, 7 figures. You have to really believe that. And I want to get that to the people that are coming from families that are, on the south side, and you're not used to seeing people with money. You don't make that your mindset that you can't have that, because you can. We get used to being, to me, working for a paycheck is like, they get you stuck there. Like how am I going to survive without my next paycheck? I have to have a job. I have to work a 40-hour job. That is them keeping you in the system. You're going to have to jump off that system and suffer a little bit and build up your business, but you can have a business. And anything can be a business. You see that plant right there? Start selling plants. Yeah. Just find plants and start, learning how to regrow those plants, and then you have your own plant business. But it's not impossible, but it's going to be impossible if you don't let go of your 40-hour job. And people ask me all the time, can you be in real estate and have a job? No, you can't. You cannot be successful in real estate and have a 40-hour job. If I want something on that house, I want to be able to call you, and I want that solution at that moment. I'm not going to wait for you to get off your job and fix that problem, because then you possibly can lose a deal. Mm-hmm. So being if you want to get out of the system of being addicted to the next paycheck, you're going to have to jump off the boat.
It's facts, though. It's facts. Burn the bridges. Mm-hmm. I think that who was it? It was
you're
a
going
book.
to have to swim.
It was a book that I read, and Think and Grow Rich. This guy sold all of his stuff so he could have enough money to buy a car, and traveled all the way across America, which was then like some odd 20 states, to meet Thomas Edison. And he told Thomas Edison, after waiting in his lobby for like a month and a half, finally got a meeting with Mr. Edison. And he told him, he said, you and I are going to be partners one day. And he's like, I don't even know who you are. Like, you've been waiting here in my office. He says, by the time we're done doing business, you will know who I am, and we will make millions of dollars together. It was indefinite. And so there's this thing that's called definitive purpose, where essentially it's like you create your reality, and when you have it, it's set in stone. Nothing can deter you away from the goal, because you just know it in your heart, your soul, your faith is aligned with it, and you can see it for everything that it is. It's almost like you're already there, but you just it's like this thing that you're envisioning for yourself, but it's so massive, it's so strong, it's like it has gravity, it pulls you toward it. You're not pushed to do it. Like, you know, I think everybody has like this push-pull aspect. If I want to lose 150 pounds, well, what the fuck am I gonna have to do, right? Well, I promise you, if somebody put a gun to your head right now and told you that you had 6 months to lose 150 pounds, that they'd shoot you in the fucking face, I swear to you, you would look at that goal differently. Whenever I'm about to lift, like, so I can deadlift about 700 pounds. Whenever I'm about to do a deadlift, I envision myself having to pull a truck off of the mother of my child and my son to pick that weight up.
Because it's hard, and it's hard. I mean, we're both telling you, we both just told you about depression that we're suffering. But we're also telling you that you can be anything you want to be.
Yeah.
But this is the real world. This is us being real humans. We're not immune to depression. We're not immune to getting our feelings hurt. We're not immune to crying and being down. The thing that makes us different than other people is that we get back up from that depression and still keep moving, because we have, in our minds, have no choice. We have no choice. We have to get up. We have to keep moving, because we're already lecturing you about what you need to do to be successful. That means that we have to work extra hard through our depression and our sadness to be successful, so that you know that you can do it too.
100%. I feel like we both have been crawling out of dark places since we were kids. So doing this and what we're going through right now ain't shit compared to what we used to go through. You're just facing it at a different level of life and who we are as people now.
Yeah.
I love this. Thank you so much for this podcast, to be honest. It's so cool you being vulnerable on this and allowing me to be vulnerable on this too, because I don't think I've ever gone this deep on any episode that I've done. So this is great.
Depression is a stigma, but it's very real.
It is.
And I wouldn't be so adamant about being real if my dad didn't die from depression. You know, this man, you say I look young. My dad married a woman my age and had 3 kids with her, because he was very young looking, very, very handsome, very young, healthy man, good heart. But if you don't eat, I don't care how healthy you are, if you do not eat and you do not move your body will die.
Yeah.
And my father died because of depression. Nobody knew what was going on with him. They didn't understand why he didn't want to eat. If they knew about, he probably would have did better with the medication, because my dad is not motivational like me and you. If somebody would have gave him medication for depression, he probably would be here today. So that's why it's so important. I told him that I wanted to talk about it, because if you're dealing with depression, I want you to know it's real. It's a real thing. And if you don't want to do medication, you need to talk to someone. Reach out to a friend, someone. You need to talk to someone, and you need to be listening and watching only positive things. You cannot be around anything negative, because you're already feeling. Yeah,
it's already in you.
You already have pain. You're already feeling that pain. So you just got to keep on seeing positive things, positive movies, positive friends. Do not follow people who post negative things every day.
Yep.
Don't do it. Your mental health is important. It's not a joke. It's very real.
I love it. Ellie, I appreciate you being on my show.
We
got to do this again.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm going to drop everything, all the social media links for Ellie here in a little bit in the comment section below. So love you guys so much. And y'all can beat those demons too. So you got this. See y'all in the next one.
I want the check.